Hi everybody, welcome to my Big Tidy Up. If this is your first time catching my channel, my name is DeDe, and normally I do cleaning, organizing, decluttering, and decorating. But today, it's a little bit different. Today we're going to start off and I'm going to ask you a very serious question. Does your house ever smell? Well, if your house is like every other house in America, yes, sometimes our homes don't always smell the best, even when they're clean, and especially when they're not. Now, we know that we can have pets or different things that we cook in our homes that can cause odors to linger. And we all love candles and diffusers and plug-ins and things like that. But today, I'm going to talk about some different tips, tricks, and hacks that you can use in your home to make your home smell fresh and clean, maybe even when it's not. So I'm happy you've joined me today. So let's get this smell out of here and let's get tidy. Now, I like to think outside the box for my home, or outside the package maybe I should say, and I have found one way to keep rooms smelling fresh is to take the little bitty clip-ons for your car and put them on your heater vents. Now, if you've got a floor furnace, it'll get too hot and you can't clip them on there, but just clip them on. They last a long time, and every time the air comes on, it refreshes your home. I usually try to keep one in the laundry room. With dirty clothes, it's not always the freshest room, but with this little plug-in on the vent, it really keeps the room fresher. Now, for more closed-off spaces, I still use car fresheners, but I use a different style. I like these little trees that come in the little bags with the little hanging string, and I usually get different fragrances for different reasons. I hang them in a lot of places, but one place that I always keep them is in our coat closet. Now, I keep them in the bag so that the scent isn't overpowering to all of the clothes, but that's not the only place I keep them in. Now, I also keep them in the storage room in the basement. Now, this doesn't get a lot of activity in here. It tends to smell musty, and so when I hang one in here, I don't keep it in the plastic because I need the full strength to keep this area fresh. I always keep one in the guest room closet, but I always make certain without a doubt that I have one in the guest bathroom cabinet. And I always use the linen scent because although these towels are clean and the sheets that are stored here are clean, they may not be used for a month or two, and it keeps that fresh laundered smell for when my guests arrive. One last tip from car fresheners. I don't know if you've seen these Yankee Candle charms, but they actually look like jewelry, and you can blend them in with your decor. Now, this one here, I just keep over my soap dispenser, and it looks like a charm bracelet actually. And inside is a fragrance pellet, and when that is gone and no longer giving you a scent, you can open that charm up and you can put fragrance on a cotton ball or essential oil. You can hang them on your doorknob, and look, I'll hang it with my jewelry, and that's exactly what it looks like, just a bracelet. Another tip I use to keep my home smelling clean and fresh is I make my own carpet fresh. Now, I'm not against purchasing carpet fresh from the store. As a matter of fact, I have some in this cabinet underneath the sink. But the one thing I will say, when I go shopping, there's usually just one scent, maybe two to choose from. So I don't have a big variety. Now, if I make it myself, I have so many options. One, I can make the scent as strong or as light as I want. I can adjust it and make different fragrances according to my mood or the season. And another bonus, it doesn't really affect me, but it may affect some of you that have pets. They say that some carpet fresh can be dangerous for your pets. Now, if you make it with baking soda and certain essential oils, it's much safer for your pets. Now, I do not know all the essential oils that are safe for pets. I do know several. I know that lavender, frankincense, almond oil, chamomile oil, cedar wood, I think those are all safer for your pets, so you probably have to Google and see which ones were safer for your pets. But I find it a great way to freshen my home. I use it on my carpets, my cushions, and even on my pillows. I'll show you in just a moment. So it's a super simple recipe, so I'll just pop it out right here and show you what you need to do. Here we are, easy peasy lemon squeezy. What I do is I just take this little container. I got this from the dollar store. It's just a sugar container. And so what I'm gonna do is fill it about halfway full, about a cup of baking soda. And the reason I do this is so that I have room to shake it up and distribute the essential oil. And I keep my oils in a little box, and I'm just gonna put lavender in, okay? If I can get it open. Have to edit that out, okay? And I put about 15 drops and then I'll stir it up. Now, I find the best way to do this is to let it set for a little bit so that oil can really distribute through. But for time's sake, I'm just making it right now, and then I'll show you how I use it.
I use my homemade Carpet Fresh pretty much like I would use a store-bought product, except I don't need to use very much. I wouldn't even call it a sprinkling. I would call it a light dusting. I just lightly dust the floor, the couch, and then the pillows. I usually go about and do something else, and then I come back and vacuum it all up thoroughly. You don't need a lot because the essential oil is pure fragrance and it does the trick. Now, for time's sake today, I'm just showing it being used on my floors and my couch, but I actually do use it on my mattress as well, and it's the same routine. I just do a light dusting, let it set for a while, and then vacuum it up thoroughly.
Before I put my essential oil away, I am going to whip up some room spray. Now, I do make this myself, but I do buy air fresheners as well. I don't want y'all thinking, oh my gosh, she just makes everything homemade. No, I really don't. But I do make this room spray, and it's good for spraying it on my furniture, my bedding, just up in the air. And it is a real simple recipe because it only really takes 3 things, and most of us have some variation of these things in our home. You need distilled water or purified water. You need alcohol or witch hazel, and you need a fragrance oil or essential oil. And those are the 3 things you need. Now, it's 1 part water and 1 part either alcohol or witch hazel. I use witch hazel because it has a lighter scent, and I don't know, I guess I think that the essential oil doesn't have to work as hard to smell good because it's not as strong to start with. And then you just put in your drops of essential oil according to your own fragrance preference. So I'm just gonna whip it out real quick here. It is just 1 part I think this is about a half a cup, and then another half a cup, and then I'm going to put in Peace and Calming. How about that? Doesn't that sound nice and relaxing? This will be the one that I'll go put up by my bed. Oh, how nice. I didn't have the spoon. I gotta go get off camera to go get it. Come back. Just mix it up. And just pour it in. I'll do it over the sink in case I have an accident. I think the last time I made this was a cup, so this should fill it right up, or pretty close. There we go. And so I'll keep this one up in my bedroom, but I'll make another one for like the main living areas, and I usually try to do something like an orange or a lemon, something that's a fragrance that most people like, so that when I spray it around, if people walk in, that it's a fragrance that's not too questionable.
For this main area, I made a citrus room spray. And yes, I just did spray my artificial flowers. Why? Well, why not?
Well, I believe this is the last tip that's coming from the kitchen. I feel like I've been running a cooking show today as much as I've been in the kitchen measuring things, recipes, mixtures. But this last thing I want to show you before I leave the kitchen really does require just a little bit of cooking, but not a lot of measuring. And that's making your own simmer pot. Now, I don't know if you've ever made a simmer pot or not, but they are a wonderful thing to use if you want to have a sweet smelling aroma go throughout a large area of your home. Now, you can make a simmer pot with just a little pan on your stove, or you can do like I do. I use a little mini crock pot because, well, I'm a little lazy and because I'm a little bit absent-minded and I don't want to have to worry about, ooh, I need to go back in and check that, making sure that it's not burning dry. So I use a mini crock pot. Now with a simmer pot, you can do it either way, and the mixture that you put in is just to your taste. There is no recipe for this. You can put anything you can imagine. Now, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but at one point I did put fabric softener and water in a simmer pot. Oh my gosh, the house smelled absolutely amazing. Now today I'm not gonna be doing that. I'm just gonna be cutting up some fruit, making more of a winter because it's cold, and I thought that sounded really good. And I'm just gonna be putting some cinnamon, some cloves, maybe a couple of apple slices, maybe a couple of orange slices, some vanilla, water, and I'm calling it good. And so you can just add to what you like and just what you have in the house. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started and get that simmer pot going.
Now, because I add a lot of water to my simmer pot mixture, I usually don't line my crock pot, but you can use a crock pot liner. Now, I will say when I have used other things other than food in my crock pot, like when I did use the fabric softener and water, I did use a crock pot liner, but it's just your preference. But since I have a lot of water, it never really gets too dry and I don't have any problem with cleanup. Now I'm just tossing in a few apple slices and the core. The rest of those apple slices I'm going to keep and eat myself. And then I'm going to take the ends off these oranges and I'm going to throw those in the disposal for another smell good hack when I'm done. But it really does just take a few pieces of fruit to get a great aroma going. All I have left to add now is the water. All I really put in my pot were just a few slices of oranges, an apple core with a couple of extra slices of apple, 1 cinnamon stick, a splash of vanilla, and some cloves. And then I'm probably going to add about 4 cups of water, and that's all it's going to take. The simmer pot is now ready. I did this in real time. I made no edits, no deletions, no speeding up or slowing down the tape, so you could actually see how long it took, and it takes less than 2 minutes to make the simmer pot. Now I'm going to put the lid partially on mine. That's my preference, but you can leave the lid on or completely off. It's up to you. Now to make use of those orange ends. Next time you're cutting up citrus fruit, instead of throwing those ends or that extra rind away, drop it in your garbage disposal and run it with water. You will be surprised how much it can freshen up your disposal. One thing you can do to keep your bathroom smelling fresh between cleanings is to use scented bathroom trash can liners. Now I will tell you I don't always use them because a lot of times I'll just throw a Walmart sack in there, but on those times when I don't use them, I take a cotton ball with essential oil or a perfume oil and just drop it and keep it at the bottom of the trash can. You can also do the same thing with a cotton ball in your toilet paper roll. Another thing you can try is for your toilet brush. Now your toilet brush is never going to be a thing of beauty, but when you are done with it, you can spray it with a disinfectant and then put it in the holder and let it rest that way to keep it smelling fresh. My last smell good tips have to do with using fabric softener sheets more than just in the dryer. Now you can keep them out in a basket where that scent will go through your laundry room, or I keep them in this box and keep the box propped open, but there's many more places that you can use fabric softener sheets. Now with seasonal clothing, such as these gloves and hats, I store a fabric softener sheet in here. Now when I'm concerned that it may change the color of something, I just put it in a little open Ziploc baggie and that scent will go through, but the fabric softener sheet itself isn't up against any special materials that might get damaged. I also use it in our drawers where we keep a lot of our sweaters. I just do the same thing, a fabric softener sheet in an open baggie. And what a perfect solution for smelly shoes. Just a half a fabric softener sheet in each shoe and you'll be good to go. And don't forget, keep them in your gym bags, in luggage that you don't use very often. And last but not least, keep them underneath your couch cushions. Now, if you have dual-sided cushions, you might want to try the baggie trick. But since I don't and my cushions only go one way, I just throw one in there.
Well, Tidy Uppers, that's it for today. The house has not been cleaned, but it sure smells like it's been cleaned. It smells amazing. Between putting the clip-ons on the vents, hanging the air fresheners in the closets and the cabinets, dryer sheets sprinkled around, scented bags, bathroom hacks, carpet fresh, room spray, and this simmer pot really getting going, it is amazing. I'm sure my husband's probably going to walk in and think I either baked something or I cleaned something, and I did neither. I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. I really had fun doing this video, and I hope it's something that you enjoyed. If you liked it and would like to see other things like this, leave me a comment and let me know, or give me a thumbs up, and so I'll know that I'm on the right track. I appreciate you supporting my channel, and until I see you again, stay tidy.